Okay, so both of these trades Steve Yzerman had pulled off today are very different. One of them was seen as a pretty good precursor move. Hey, Stevie Y is cooking. He's making something happen. And then the other one was a big, okay, Stevie Y, what the hell are you doing? Are you cooking or are you throwing this all down the drain? What the hell? So I wanted to give this a few hours to marinate before we made the video because I had to try to make sense of this myself too. This is very interesting. It requires some thinking to fully understand, and I don't even know if I understand it really. I'm just going out there and saying what I think. So let's talk about the two Detroit Red Wings trades that went down in the span of, 10:55 a.m., and then the next one was at 12:05 p.m., so 2 hours in between. First one, the Red Wings acquired a second-round pick in the 2024 draft, originally Tampa's, and forward Jesse Kiiskinen from the Nashville Predators in exchange for Andrew Gibson. So, I believe Nashville got this second-round pick from Tampa Bay in the Ryan McDonagh trade, and they also get themselves the Jesse Kiiskinen player. So, let's go ahead and talk about this guy. 18 years old, right wing, 6 feet, 192, right-handed forward, and he is unsigned, third-round pick by the Nashville Predators in last year's NHL Draft. He had scored 10 points in 38 games played this most recent season with the Pelicans, and also had 21 points in only 8 games in the Pelicans junior system. So Kiiskinen is a very highly productive prospect when it comes to competing against his own age range. Even last year when he got drafted in that third-round selection, he was at 43 points in 31 games against junior competition. Pretty solid, pretty good. Honestly, I'm not going to say that I watch the most HPK or Pelicans games in the Liga. So all we got to go out here is talk about the scouting report from Elite Prospects. His motor never stops. Kiiskinen makes second and third efforts on the forecheck, catches unsuspecting defensemen on tracks, and is a diligent defensive player. He scans ahead of puck retrievals and makes plays with pace. So what we're getting out of that is this guy is a speedster. His motor, it's going. This guy works hard, and you know what? Derek Lalonde, Stevie Y, there totally is an appreciation for guys who just go. And for guys who are able to also produce on top of that, you could definitely see why this would be an attractive profile. Maybe for a third-round caliber guy, this was a little bit late of a pickup, but either way, he is a player that was playing in the Liga. He was already getting some pro minutes, and he had produced quite a bit for Finland's Helinka Gretzky tournament and other tournaments as well. So definitely an interesting pickup here for the Detroit Red Wings. I want to see where he was ranked to go in the 2023 NHL Draft. Okay, so the highest ranking actually was 48th overall. TSN and Bob McKenzie, 13th ranked European skater by NHL Central Scouting. Elite Prospects had him at 95, Future Considerations 87. Craig Button had him at number 60, McKean's at 55, but he goes all the way down there at 68. So maybe a little bit of a steal. Very interesting pickup here for the Red Wings to go along with that second-round pick that they got. And Andrew Gibson is the piece going out from Detroit over to Nashville. He was drafted in the second round of the 2023 draft, 6'3", 203 right-handed defenseman, 19 years old, and he had himself a pretty okay year, 44 points, 68 games played. Admittedly, this point production isn't like popping off of the page in the most extreme way. Like, you'll see defensemen get this amount of points as a draft eligible. But honestly, for Andrew Gibson, he was a guy that we saw some value in. Big dude, he delays, he manipulates opponents with deception, uses the inside, and looks for activation opportunities after passing. Subtle plays like quick pumping, faking on receptions, or angling his body away from his target drive his value up. So, as we had talked about with Andrew Gibson, he was that nice defenseman on the right side, but he is no longer a Red Wing. He has gotten sent over to Nashville. Gibson for Kiiskinen and a second-round pick was the first deal. You could say that if you didn't see much of Gibson's value projecting to the NHL level, then you trade him away, you get some picks, you get a guy in return who could be a nice energy forward. Nice play by Stevie Y, right? But 2 hours later, this second-round pick that the Wings ended up getting was sent over to San Jose alongside of Jake Walman for nothing. The Detroit Red Wings essentially traded away Andrew Gibson and Jake Walman for what is essentially just Jesse Kiiskinen. That second-round pick, they got it and they sent it away. Very quick move here. It's Gibson and Walman for Kiiskinen. That's it. Jake Walman, goodbye, buddy. Future considerations, welcome over to Detroit. A lot of people freaking out about this. That seems like the opposite of good. Okay, what the hell? There's the Kermit. Why did we have to add the second round pick? Yzerman. Oh no, we're screwing around. Wings fans told us Walman was elite though, and then a lot of people are, angry about this. Either way, Jake Walman is a San Jose Shark, and at 28 years old, 6'2", 216, left-handed, $3.4 million defenseman whose contract expires in 2025-2026, you could say that this is a very baffling move. Walman is coming off of a career year. He had 21 points in 63 games played. He'll probably get a lot more points now. Honestly, playing with San Jose, that team has nobody else that can go out there and dethrone Jake Walman. I mean, sorry, no offense to Kyle Burrows or Mario Ferraro, but Jake Walman is like one of the top guys on that team now, is he not? Good on him for the opportunity, but of course, I mean, he's not going to go out there and win right away. Actually, no, who really knows? If the Sharks make a big free agent splash, they sign some guys, and they get Celebrini, which of course they're going to, they could be a little bit more competitive next season than we might anticipate, so who really knows? But Jake Walman is no longer a Detroit Red Wing, and the only thing that I think rationalizes this idea is when you think about that dollar amount, you say, hey, what did Stevie Y do? He traded away a prospect and a $3.4 million asset for a prospect that was drafted further away in the draft than the prospect that was initially sent away. Okay, that sentence sucked. I'm sorry. Let's rephrase that. The Red Wings paid a price of moving down in the draft from 42 overall in Gibson down to 68 overall in Kiiskinen, and the price to do that was Jake Walman. The only reason you would see this as a positive move is if you see Jake Walman as the precursor, as some sort of a bigger move. If Jake Walman and his $3.4 million AAV contract is seen as a negative in your opinion, then this trade is a good one. Or these two trades, excuse me. But Jake Walman was seen by a lot of people as a very positive asset. He was a good player. He's a good motivator, he's got the gritty, he brings the moments, he's got highlight reel plays, and of course he plays well with certain guys in the lineup, cough cough, Mo Sider, but yeah, trade this guy away for the right to draft further down in the 2023 draft from last year. Interesting. It's Walman and Gibson for Kiiskinen. And I think the only rationale behind it is that the trade probably precedes something bigger that Stevie Y needed the cap space for. These prospects, no cap space attached to them. These guys aren't even signed. I mean, they're just the rights over to the prospects, right? Okay, no, Andrew Gibson was signed, I'm pretty sure. But either way, Jake Walman, that's the contract right there. There's the money. Literally, that's the money. But if Stevie Y is doing some sort of a bigger thing to try to keep Patrick Kane or get some free agent to come over or make another big trade, if Jake Walman is the sacrifice, then okay, we just gotta wait and see what it is. If Stevie Y ends up doing nothing with this extra cap space, then okay, we'll look at this trade 3 weeks down the line and say, what the hell were you doing? But for now, goodbye Jake Walman. Stevie Y, I hope you know what you're doing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about these two trades over here. The Red Wings acquired a second-round pick in Kiiskinen for Andrew Gibson. They then traded that second-round pick and Jake Walman to San Jose for nothing. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.